Imagine a shadowy figure lurking in the corridors of power, a man who wove a web of influence so vast that it ensnared billionaires, politicians, and celebrities alike, all while hiding unimaginable crimes behind a facade of wealth and philanthropy. That man was Jeffrey Epstein, and even years after his mysterious death in a prison cell, new reports and documents are emerging that peel back layers of secrecy, reminding us that the pursuit of justice is far from over. These shocking revelations aren't just relics of the past, they're a stark warning about the unchecked power of the elite and the systems that protect them. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Impact Report. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel for more in-depth analyses on stories that shape our world. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's start by examining the exterior of this scandal, the public face that first captured global attention and continues to evolve with each new release of documents. Jeffrey Epstein's story burst into the spotlight in the early 2000s, but it's the recent dumps of millions of pages by the U.S. Department of Justice that keep it front and center. Just last month, in January 2026, the DOJ released over 3 million pages, including emails, photos, and videos that detail Epstein's connections to figures like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and even President Trump. DB 4463. These documents paint a picture of a man who, despite his 2008 conviction for soliciting prostitution from a minor, maintained a glossy exterior of respectability. On the surface, Epstein presented himself as a brilliant financier, rubbing shoulders with Nobel laureates, tech moguls, and world leaders. His private island, Little St. James, was dubbed Pedophile Island by locals, yet it hosted lavish parties that drew in the powerful. The exterior allure was all about access to money, influence, and opportunities that seemed limitless, but as these new files show, this facade was cracking long before his 2019 arrest. Emails reveal how Epstein coordinated White House tours for celebrities like Woody Allen and continued advising high-profile individuals on financial matters, even as his criminal history was public knowledge. 8004 Today. This exterior remains relevant because it highlights how society often judges the powerful by their public image rather than their actions. With ongoing lawsuits and investigations, including those involving Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's accomplice who's serving a 20-year sentence, the public is reminded that the scandal's surface is still being scratched. Reports from sources like NPR and the New York Times detail random redactions in these files, leaving us to wonder what's still hidden, fueling public distrust in institutions. 79B6017. The exterior also includes the media frenzy. Conspiracy theories abound. From QAnon believers claiming a deep state cover, up to mainstream questions about why Epstein got such a lenient plea deal in Florida back in 2008. 6031D15. This public dimension keeps the story alive as each new revelation, or unredacted names or uncorroborated tips, sparks debates on social media and in Congress. In essence, the exterior of Epstein's scandal is a mirror reflecting our collective fascination with power and corruption, and with the 2026 releases, it's clearer than ever why it demands our attention. Moving deeper, the interior of this saga reveals the hidden mechanisms that allowed Epstein's operation to thrive for decades, though we'll keep this exploration concise as the core horrors are well documented but profoundly disturbing. At its heart, Epstein's network was a sophisticated trafficking ring, luring young girls with promises of modeling gigs or education, only to exploit them sexually. DRB65. The interior involved private jets, coded communications, and a Rolodex of enablers who turned a blind eye. New emails show Epstein's ties to spiritualists like Deepak Chopra and tech figures like Christopher Poole of 4chan, illustrating how his inner circle blended intellect with depravity. Benign Faka. This hidden world was insulated by non-disclosure agreements and threats, ensuring silence from victims and associates alike. Now, considering the performance of this entire affair, from investigations to prosecutions, it's a mixed bag that underscores systemic failures while showing glimmers of progress, making it highly relevant in today's climate of accountability movements. The initial Florida case in 2008 was a dismal performance. Epstein pleaded guilty to minor charges, serving just 13 months with work release, thanks to a sweetheart deal orchestrated by then U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, E5755. Critics argue this leniency stemmed from Epstein's connections, allowing him to continue his activities until his 2019 federal arrest. The FBI's handling has been scrutinized. Recent files include complaints of rape allegations against prominent figures, yet many leads went unpursued. 48F937. On the positive side, the 2020 arrest and conviction of Maxwell marked a high-performance moment, with victims' testimonies leading to her lengthy sentence. However, the overall performance of the justice system has been lackluster, as evidenced by the delayed release of files mandated by Congress in 2025, only fully disclosed in 2026 after political pressure. 539079. This sluggish pace fuels relevance today, especially amid broader discussions on FME2 and elite impunity. UN experts have weighed in, stating that cases like Epstein's expose failures in preventing exploitation of women and children, calling for better international cooperation. 4994. Performance metrics also include public engagement. Trending topics on platforms like X show how the files release spiked searches, with millions discussing implications for figures like Peter Mandelson, whose emails prompted police reviews in the UK. B50F1. In terms of efficiency, the DOJ's massive trove, over 3 million documents, demonstrates improved transparency, but redactions and unprosecuted third parties suggest the engine is still sputtering. 7-4B. This performance review is crucial now, as it informs ongoing reforms in sex trafficking laws and victim support, proving Epstein's case isn't history, but a benchmark for future justice. When it comes to safety features, or rather the glaring lack thereof in Epstein's world, this aspect remains alarmingly relevant, as it exposes vulnerabilities in protecting the vulnerable, and the ongoing risks posed by similar networks. Epstein's operation lacked any real safeguards. Instead, it exploited gaps in oversight, from lax airport security for his Lolita Express jet to insufficient monitoring during his incarceration, culminating in his suspicious suicide in 2019. D9C1. Today's relevance stems from how these failures highlight the need for robust safety protocols in high-profile cases. Victims' advocates point to the new files revealing coerced silence and threats, emphasizing the absence of whistleblower protections that could have dismantled the ring sooner. 8854. Modern safety features in response include enhanced federal trafficking laws post-Epstein, like mandatory reporting for private flights involving minors, but gaps persist. UN reports stress that without accountability for enablers, safety remains illusory. 294F6. The scandal also underscores digital safety. Emails and photos in the releases show how online platforms were used for grooming, prompting calls for better AI moderation on sites like 4chan. 65-74. For society, the ultimate safety feature is vigilance, public scrutiny that prevents cover-ups, as seen in the trending Epstein files that symbolize the fight against secrecy. 20-32D. This relevance is amplified by current events, like similar allegations in Hollywood and politics, reminding us that without fortified safeguards, history repeats. What sets Epstein's scandal apart are its unique selling points, the elements that make it stand out in the annals of criminal history and ensure its enduring relevance in discussions of power dynamics. Chief among them is the sheer breadth of his network, not just any criminals, but a constellation of global elites from diverse fields: finance, tech, academia. Thuros AB5. Unlike typical trafficking cases, Epstein's USP was leverage. He allegedly provided girls to influential men as favors, creating a web of complicity that extended to figures like Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton. 2951-1. Another unique aspect is the intersection with conspiracy theories. The files, redactions, and Epstein's death have fueled narratives of a cabal, blending fact with fiction in ways that keep it viral. 9BAF. The international scope. Trafficking across borders involving Mossad theories and UN commentary adds a geopolitical flavor uncommon in such scandals. 854823. Moreover, the technological angle, with emails revealing post-conviction influence, highlights how digital trails can resurrect old crimes, a USP in the age of data permanence. 699-91. These points make the story a cautionary tale about inequality, where wealth buys silence, and its relevance today lies in inspiring reforms that target such unique enablers. The price of Epstein's scandal is incalculable, encompassing emotional, financial, and societal costs that continue to accrue, underscoring why the reports demand attention now more than ever. For victims, the toll is lifelong trauma. Survivors like Virginia Giuffre have spoken of shattered lives, with therapy and lost opportunities costing millions collectively. 362 CFB legally. Settlements and investigations have run into hundreds of millions. Epstein's estate paid out over $150 million to victims by 2022, and ongoing suits add to that. 902C1B societally, the price is eroded trust. Polls show declining faith in institutions post-Epstein, with costs in political polarization and conspiracy proliferation. F89-89 economically, tied industries like finance face reputational hits, with figures like Gates seeing philanthropy scrutinized. 78-67B2 The ultimate price is human dignity, as the scandal reveals how power commodifies vulnerability, a cost we're still paying through unmet justice. In conclusion, Epstein's shocking reports remain relevant today because they expose the fragility of justice in the face of power, urging us to demand transparency and reform. As new files unravel more threads, they remind us that silence enables abuse, and only through continued vigilance can we hope to prevent such horrors. Thank you for watching the Impact Report. Subscribe, like and share your thoughts below. Until next time, stay informed.